I can't remember what. Volcanic protector man. Hey guys, how you all doing? We're back. We've got ages, but we're back. How are you? Have you watched it? That's what we need to know. We need to know. Have you watched the movie? Because we're going to talk about it, and it's going to be really hard. I see a couple of you saying no spoilers. It's going to be really hard for us not to do any spoilers, but we will try and warn you if there's some really obvious spoilers coming up. But first, we're going to say hello to these three beautiful ladies. We've got Jess, we've got Rafi, we've got Clara. Ladies, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Well, I feel a lot less glamorous than I did before I came and met you three. Yeah, I'm good. I enjoyed watching the movie today. I was nervous about watching it.
Me too.
You know, we've had all this kind of like fear as a Eurovision fan that they were going to like literally rip the out of our contest.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about whether or not they did that shortly. But not until we say hello to the guys in the live. So we've got, who's first? It's always Sarah O'Halloran. Hello, you can talk about your project, Sarah, but we're going to be talking about the movie. So if you've seen it, we would love to know what you think. You've got Deep. Oh, Deep, we disturbed you. I'm sorry. You can get back to watching the movie. We'll try not to spoil it. E for D, we're going to try our best. We will try and warn you of any spoilers. But we're so excited to talk about it. We've got Clavs as well. Hey, we're going to try our best not to spoil anything. We'll tell you to close your ears. We've also got Joanne Johnson. Hey, Joanne, you've not seen the movie yet. We've got Joelle. You have been watching the movie. There's some surprises. So, yeah, we'll try and talk about those. We've got ESC Manga in the house. We've got Rye Bailey. We've got, Miss Alethea. Hello. Wish you a lovely weekend too. We've also got Bukur. How could it? Well, I'm going to talk about.
Oh, yeah. There's a few things we have to talk about.
We all spotted that. I think that was done on purpose, actually. But let's try and talk about the movie with not many spoilers. First of all, girls, I want to know, based on kind of how we've been talking about this personally, what the ESC fans have been saying in the build-up, the fear about this being a big mockery of the contest that we love. What was your feeling when you watched the movie today? Because like I said, I was nervous. I want to know how you guys were.
Go ahead.
It definitely wasn't as big of a mockery as people were making it out to be. And so watching the film, I didn't feel like they were making fun of the contest really in any way. There were maybe a few odd moments where you were like, really? But generally on the whole, I feel the film represented the contest in a good light. And it wasn't as bad as people feared it would be.
Clara.
Well, for me, I think the parodies in the two characters, I personally don't like them, but I think overall it's quite well done. And as the movie started, I was like cringing a little bit because obviously their personalities are not my favorite. But as the movie progresses and we get to see what like the whole Eurovision looks like, it was kind of okay. I could get behind it, and we have Andy, Jess, and I have been there, so we know if it does resemble or not to the actual thing, and it's not that bad actually. I'm very surprised. I thought it would be a setback for all of the Euro fans, like all of this work we've done trying to push the contest in a better light, and like to all of our surroundings that don't believe in the contest the way we do. And now it's like this movie was going to come out, everything that we had been telling them and like trying to convince them, no, it's not a freak show, watch it, it was going to be a setback, but I don't think it is.
Rafi, you were quite outspoken before because you were really worried being an American that it was going to be a big.
Me? Outspoken? No. That's not me. So I'm not gonna lie, I did procrastinate watching it today because I was really worried. I wish that Eurovision itself was represented more. I feel like when you watch the movie as a whole and all the different, just aspects of it, Eurovision's almost kind of like an afterthought because it wasn't. It was more focused on, you know, what was happening between them and then the other characters, and not so much the contest itself. And so I feel like that if they just focused a little bit more on Eurovision, it would have been, it possibly could have been a great movie.
They did focus a lot on the backstory in the beginning, so that was quite a long part of the movie. I mean, is it just over 2 hours long? I think it could have maybe been slightly shorter, and it did feel like it took a while before we actually got to that Eurovision, that kind of Eurovision segment, and that's really what we were all waiting for, isn't it? But I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised. I was worried I wasn't going to like it. I was worried it would, it would just be one huge parody that would take it a step too far for us as Eurovision fans. It is a parody. It's a comedy. It's silly. You know, it's Will Ferrell. So we were going to expect all of those things. A lot of it is very unrealistic in a sense of how things played through. You know, we had voting was done in a slightly different way. We had, someone's already mentioned Sweden's act, which had 7 people on stage. I think that was done on purpose, and I think that's like a little nod to the Eurovision fans, because they know that Eurovision fans would pick that up. And I think in that sense, they have done little nods to the Eurovision fans all the way through this film. And I actually think that's really, really nice. I wasn't expecting it. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised and I enjoyed it. And I'd be quite happy to see a sequel. I want to see what's happening next year. It's going to be one of those things, isn't it? Like Eurovision, you're just waiting every year to see what happens. What about the acting? You know, we had Rachel McAdams. I mean, she's great in any role that she's beautiful as well. It wasn't her singing though. I don't think it was someone else.
No.
But Will Ferrell was singing his own part, so I think.
Yes.
I mean, Will Ferrell. We've all seen his movies. He's he's goofy, but you can't help but love him.
Yeah, I thought the acting was good and it kind of suited the movie and the tone of the movie.
Yeah, because it's silly acting, isn't it? It's not, it's not emotional. You're not seeing like these emotional performances, but it's very comedic. Guys in the live chat, if you have seen it, we want to know what you think. Of course, someone's mentioned Demi Lovato as well. Didn't see her as much as I was hoping.
Yeah, she was quite like a secondary character, and like with the pop star she is, I thought she would be more present. But like you could obviously see that she was not on the same physical place as Will Ferrell and like the other people, so she must have shot that on her own schedule. Yeah,
I actually thought that she was going to be one of the, one of the artists from one of the countries. I thought she was going to be, and there was going to be a whole story. Yeah, well, we did have the bad Russian, who I don't think was actually that bad. I really liked him.
No.
But Dan Stevens playing, I can't remember his name. Is it Alex, someone from Russia? So he's featured very heavily as part of the storyline. I say I am literally in love with Dan Stevens anyway. So maybe I'm being a little bit biased, but I really loved his character in the film. And it's this thing you always expect of, like, the Russians are always made to be baddies, and it's unfortunate they were, the baddie was a Russian, but he wasn't really that bad. He was quite supportive.
He was just misunderstood.
Yeah.
Something that kind of, I don't want to say bothered me. That's the wrong term for that. But about the whole storyline with him is that him and then Mita, I think the character's name was, from Greece, they kept alluding to this like evil plan he might have had, but they never actually like acknowledge what it is. But it's like they're working together, like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this, and then but you never find out what exactly the plan is gonna be.
Maybe break up the duo.
Well, it's I get what you're saying, because maybe that's quite clever, because that's kind of what you were expecting to happen all the way through. But then he didn't break up the duo in the end, did he? It was all no. Well, it is a bit of a spoiler, but it didn't play out, and I think maybe that's clever writing, because they lead you to believe that something's going to happen. It doesn't happen, and then something else that you're not expecting happens. Someone's mentioning, did we know that the stage was in Tel Aviv? So we did know, but I think we only found that out recently because did we see Will Ferrell talking about that in an interview? I think recently he was saying that they were allowed in to film the stage. So I don't think the actual stage itself was used and people were singing on it. I think that was all. I think people were edited onto the stage, if I'm right. It was all done using green screen. But I mean, the stage in Tel Aviv looks amazing anyway, and it looked great in this movie. Do you think we got? I think we got a real sense from watching the short clips of the songs on the stage of what Eurovision is actually like to be in the arena, and the kind of excitement and the glamour and the glitz and the production around it.
For me, it seemed like a little smaller than what the actual Eurovision is and looks like, having been also in inside the Tel Aviv Arena and everything. And for me, the performances in the semi-final looked like super small and like quite empty compared to what the actual Eurovision is. But I like the backdrops, like, I'm the one commenting like the backdrops usually and everything. So for me, it was like too simple. That's the only thing. But other than that,
yeah, it wasn't so kind of, yeah.
So I'm looking through just articles reviewing it, and it seems that it has not done well here in America.
I love the part where, spoiler alert, where they're driving, like the Americans are driving Will Ferrell back to Eurovision, and they're saying, "What's Eurovision? Is it like The Voice?" Because like that's the most cliche thing we've heard from the Americans.
Yeah, but that's what I love about this movie is they pick up on all those things, and it is how, if I met an American person, it's how I normally describe Eurovision. I'm like, it's like American Idol or The Voice, but with countries, and everything about the film I think was very clever. How they had the 4 Americans in there, because they know that lots of Americans don't know what Eurovision is, or don't really understand it, or think it's crazy. You had the little jibe in there about everyone hating the UK, and it's only the Eurovision fans, people in the UK that say it. It's like everything's been cleverly placed throughout the film, and I probably wasn't expecting that so much. We have to talk about the Eurovision cameos as well.
My heart exploded in happiness.
This is a big spoiler because I think everyone knows that these people are going to be in the movie.
Right.
Anyway,
They're posting about them now. All of the artists just posting.
Yeah, so we had Loreen, we had Conchita, we had Jessy Matador, we had Bilal as well, and Jessy Matador.
We had Elina Nechayeva, we had Anna Odobescu. Who else did we have? We have everyone. Jamala, Neta, Salvador Sobral.
Yeah. Oh, begging, wasn't he? He was busking.
Yes. That was fun.
So what I really liked about that is, so I watched it with captions on, and the captions had the name of the song and the artist on there. So I liked it that it gave the opportunity for, people who aren't familiar with him to be like, oh, that's a really nice song. Now I can look it up because I know his name. So I thought that was a really nice touch.
There were a few songs in there that I'm like, why aren't they singing Eurovision? Because we had Believe by Cher. Yeah. And I was trying to think of Cher. I mean, Cher made like a little I think they're all linked to Eurovision though in some way, because Cher made a cameo in Istanbul, didn't she? In the was it in 2004? Was it when they did the interval act? They had the members of ABBA. Cher was in that video as well. I don't know if anyone remembers that.
I don't remember that, but
there's been a little Cher involvement in Eurovision. Obviously, Madonna we had last year. Black Eyed Peas, I'm not sure of.
We had Justin Timberlake.
I mean, with the Black Eyed Peas, will.i.am was a judge on The Voice Australia, which Anja Nissen won, who went to represent Denmark.
There you go. There's always a Eurovision There's always a Eurovision link. So it might have even been quite clever in respect to the songs. In respect to the songs that they chose. I'm going to have to go and look through that playlist. The other thing, if I've been to Eurovision for the past 3-4 years, and there's been a Russian party like that I've not been invited to, I have to go next year because that party looked amazing. If you've seen the movie, you know what we're talking about.
But in a way, like the Euroclub is kind of like that, but less glamorous.
Much less glamorous.
Much less glamorous.
But it's still just as fun.
Yeah, and when they do the orange carpet or the opening ceremony, they look like that.
Well, we missed that. There was no red carpet, was there? Or like a flag, like a flag ceremony or anything. Maybe that's what was missing from the movie for Eurovision fans. Maybe I don't know if it is missing. For others. I'm just going to go to some of the comments. So we've got Rye Bailey. You're saying you thought the movie was surprisingly good. You wouldn't have had Will Ferrell in the film though. Okay.
But I mean, I think after watching the movie, I'm kind of thinking if Will Ferrell wasn't the main person in the movie, who else could do what he did? Like, it wouldn't be quite the same movie, I don't think.
Ben Stiller.
Yeah, it's like a Ben Stiller type role, isn't it?
That could be interesting.
I think they should have included like the filming of the postcards, because I feel like that would have been like a really fun segment to see just like their reactions and just being really just over the top with it.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's why we could have had less of the backstory at the beginning and maybe a bit more of things like seeing their whole experience, because it's almost like you see like the backstory, Icelandic Song Contest, then all of a sudden we're at Eurovision, and that part of the story played through quite quickly, I think. So I agree with you actually. I think maybe if you'd seen a bit more of the journey.
But going back to Songkvöld or like the Icelandic national final, I love the part where like the producers are discussing who to take and who's gonna win, and there's the banker like saying no. Let's not win, because like there's always rumors that the artists say like, oh, the TV station didn't want to win, so that's why we couldn't have so much funding for like the staging, or no, they told me not to perform so well tonight and things like that. We always have those rumors, at least in Spain. Spain
were in the semi-final as well. I don't know if anyone noticed that.
Yes. I'm sure. I'm not sure if like they did it on purpose, like a dislike Spain, you're so bad every year. Like, come on, guys.
I think they have just done these little things, like the 7 people on stage, Spain in the semi-final. It's like a what do they call it? Continuity, like a blooper thing.
Yeah.
So you always see these videos on YouTube about the 10 things you never saw in the thing unless you looked really hard, or
the Easter eggs.
Easter eggs. That's it. But I really do think that's been done for Eurovision fans only, and I think that is I think what the makers of this movie have done is they've seen how precious the contest is to the Eurovision community and to Europe as well, and Australia.
And I love that Jon Olasand is credited, like someone plays Jon Olasand, and we all know how he looks, and daddy.
But he was an executive producer of this movie as well, which I never
which
knew.
Is good because it was a clear sign that they wouldn't make a complete joke out of it.
Rafi, what do you think this will do for the American audience that see the film? Do you think it's going to draw a new audience into Eurovision, or maybe actually checking out what it is? I can see in your eyes what your answer is going to be.
I can see it in your eyes.
I'm not sure. I'm really like, for the song along, I was really excited that all those different artists had those cameos so that they were introduced to a broader market. But I feel like I said earlier, like Eurovision itself wasn't showcased enough. So like I think people will be like, oh, what's this? And then they'll just see music competition, just they'll just be like, oh, okay, you know, whatever. Like it didn't magnify the importance and just epicness that Eurovision actually is. And like, yeah, it's funny how you know, Will Ferrell was like, I hate Americans because anyway,
well, no, it's another thing, isn't it? Like, it's a
yeah,
you know, talk about bringing America into the contest, and it would just be another thing they've planted in there as a joke.
Yeah, and I feel like Americans, they take the wrong things too personally, and so I feel like the people who are like going to be fans of this movie are going to be like, well, if that's how they really feel about us, then we're not gonna, you know. But I understand the whole like The Voice, like comparing it to The Voice with the Americans, but from people who I've talked to about it, because nobody I meet ever knows what Eurovision is, they understand it more compared to the Olympics. Because
that's how I've described it.
Because it's each country sending its entrant, and so that's kind of, I think if they would have like compared it more to that, then like it would have piqued more interest. But if they just kind of like display it as like, oh, it's like American Idol, or oh, it's like The Voice, they'd be like, oh, we have too much of that anyway. But I don't know. As a Eurovision fan, I loved it, and I think that Eurovision fans are more likely to like this because of all the different things that they can relate to more than a non-Eurovision fan.
Well, Bakura is saying Americans won't watch Eurovision until it's aired on ABC or a major TV station, not like Logo TV. But it is on Netflix now.
It is on Netflix.
Watch the contest. I'm not sure if you can watch it live on Netflix, though. But maybe that will.
No.
Can you watch anything live on Netflix?
No, I don't think so. Because you have to pay.
Oh, yeah.
What I was going to say, I love how, like, for copyright reasons, they wouldn't display the and the logo of Eurovision, like the white official logo. They had to like modify the graphics slightly so it wouldn't be copyright infringement.
I didn't even notice that. But they've even got the Eurovision logo in the.
Yeah, in some of the microphone, like Graham Norton's microphone, but it's slightly turned so the whole logo doesn't show.
Oh, but on the movie poster, the full logo's on there.
Yeah, I don't know what because I know like for graphics, like if you display such and such, you're allowed, but if you display this such and such, you're not allowed. It's like a complete big law copyright thing.
Well, there was something that was missing from this movie, and I'm going to pull out this comment from Chow Cesar because actually I'd never thought about this before.
I actually thought that the Greek girl was supposed to represent Fureira.
Oh, really?
But then it wasn't. But like I was thinking, because I totally agree with this comment because I was expecting her to show up at some point.
Yeah, actually, she's like a glaring omission from the movie. Now that I've seen that comment, she would have been amazing. She would have been amazing. But we got to see Netta from last year. And John Lundvik.
Vera Serduchka would have been really nice.
Oh yeah, that would have been interesting.
In this,
pardon?
I thought, was Verka not meant to be in this? No.
She would be like the perfect person to be there.
I'm sure there was talk about Verka being in this movie before.
Yeah. Well, she was in Tel Aviv, so.
Oh yeah, and Charles says I said Mons should have been in there as well. Yeah, so you know, maybe it's a bit strange. Some of the cameos they picked, like Anna Odobescu. You know, where did that come from? I'm not sure. She's big in the Eurovision community. However, she is absolutely stunning, and she looks stunning.
Yes, that is really true.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's a glamorous party that they were at, so they're probably looking for some glamour. But yeah, it was nice to have the cameos. Girls, all in all, what are we going to say for this movie? We're going to give it a thumbs up in the middle or a thumbs down. We do like proper movie ratings tonight.
I will actually watch it again eventually. Because
I'm going to go thumbs up.
Yeah.
I'm going to do half.
Yeah, I'm with Rafi.
You're trying to do
Yeah.
it.
That's okay. After I put them up, I had to see if I was actually doing it right.
Did you realize that the Saga Fire Saga performance, the piano was Duncan Lawrence's piano?
No.
It is. Yeah, watch it again. It's the piano that Duncan Lawrence used, and like the choreography, it has meta element, like the hands of the toy choreography. There are some really clever disguised elements.
I'm going to have to watch it through again. But yeah, I'm really happy. It's at half what I was expecting, half not what I was expecting. So I think they've actually done a really good job.
I love the elves. They have elves in the movie.
Yes.
There is elves in the movie. One of my favourite parts was the door close. You know, I can't say too much about that. But the door closing, I just like.
I laughed so much.
And go on.
I was, funny enough, after Tel Aviv, I 4 weeks later, I had to travel to Iceland for like my painting job, and this is why the movie was so dear for me, because it really represented like my journey last year from the Tel Aviv stage to Iceland, and the way they really portray Iceland really, really well, and the character of the Icelandic people, they have this innocence in them. I really liked how it's done.
Well, it's interesting they picked Iceland to focus on this year, because I think they picked the right country, because Iceland have got a great comedy scene. They're good at taking the mickey out of themselves, and there was a bit of Icelandic mickey taken in this, but they would laugh along with it. They would find it funny. You know, if they picked another country, maybe it
like
wouldn't have come
Spain.
down. So, well, you know, it could be. So I think they were quite clever in choosing Iceland as a country. I would love to see a sequel, and maybe I don't know, maybe they could manage a new act from another country, and we could see another backstory, and you know, Eurovision 2021.
I'm gonna make a super huge spoiler alert, so people cover your eyes or your ears. No, you guys have.
Oh no, we've seen it.
You've seen it. I know. People in the comments. I really, really, really like that the last song, like the song the
last song. We know the last song.
The last song. They didn't magically.
Yeah.
Because that would have been like, it would have destroyed the whole movie. It would have been like, this is so Disney thingy. Like.
We have to talk about the songs as well, because, you know, we had Volcano Man. However, was that a month ago we got that? And loads of people, even my brother saw it and sent me a link to that.
Yeah, ding dong.
WTF. But, you know, it's catchy AF.
Yeah.
And the last song in one of the songs in in Saga, I really liked, was Demi Lovato's song. And then the last song in the whole film, I was just like, oh my god, this song is a Eurovision song, and I think they've got the music right. You know, it's comedic the way they've done it, but you know, even with Alex, I'm going to keep calling him Alex. I don't know if that's his name, the Russian guy.
It is.
Alex Lazarev. We'll call him that.
Even with his song, you think, oh, the song's a bit crap, but then you're thinking, well, actually, it's just like a Eurovision song, like the performance, and it's a comedic take on a Eurovision song, but they haven't made it so bad that it's cringy. You know,
Lion of Love reminds me of Lithuania 2019 with Run with the Lions. This kind of very interesting lyrics.
I'm going to have to apologise because I've been pronouncing your name wrong, and apparently it's pronounced Kyle. So Kyle, oh yeah, you're already finding the Easter eggs. That's not what I wanted to show. You want to know what we thought about the idea of hosting it in Scotland? You thought that was a good thing. So yeah, well, it's not really a spoiler, is it? It's pretty obvious it was going to be hosted in Scotland. I did find it strange though that the presenters of the show weren't British.
No, it was Spanish. It was John Cortajarena. He's a Spanish model.
Oh, is he?
Yes, that's John Cortajarena with a mustache.
But it was just weird. I was expecting him to be like either just English or Scottish, but the fact that they were two foreign names hosting in Scotland was a bit weird. But
And like one was like a very Eastern European name, like his name was super Eastern European, and her name was not so much.
I can't remember, but it's all been done intentionally, though. I think even the fact that they're hosting it in the UK because they know the UK is always saying, "Oh, we'll never win, we'll never win." You know, I literally think everything has been done really deliberately. I don't think they've just, there's beautiful scenery in. It's a beautiful city to shoot a movie in, but there's plenty of cities all around Europe that are just as beautiful where they could have shot the movie. So I think a lot of things have been done intentionally. I also have to say the hotel.
They don't look like that. The Eurovision artists don't stay in a hotel like that. No.
It's like a bed and breakfast.
Yes.
But no, really, I'm really happy. So I think Kyle is saying he was in the Fergie music video. I have no idea.
Joe Cortajarena, I think, because he's a model.
Where are you from, Kyle?
Caio César, I think he's from Portugal or Italy. Italy.
I've been calling him Chow. I'm so sorry. I'm just reading your name again. I'm so stupid. I've been saying Chow. It's not even spelled like that. So real apologies from me, Kyle. Let's have a look. Sarah O'Halloran, you want the sequel in Dublin? No, I want to go somewhere else in Europe for the sequel. If there is a sequel.
Come to Tallinn, shoot it in Tallinn. We have the Tallinn Arena somewhere over there. You know who's coming to Tallinn? Unrelated, Draco Malfoy to shoot a movie in Estonia. Sorry, we can go back to Eurovision.
Who is?
Draco Malfoy, Tom Felton. From Harry Potter, Draco Malfoy, the blonde bad guy.
He's never seen a Harry Potter movie.
I've never seen Harry Potter. I've never seen Harry Potter. I've never read a Harry Potter book either.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
No worries.
We've been saying for years we're gonna have a Harry Potter weekend. I'm just gonna watch them all. Never seen
but
it.
There's no interval act in Harry Potter, unfortunately.
There's no what? Sorry.
Interval act in between the movies.
No, we didn't get an interval act in this, did we? Did we? No, we didn't.
We didn't.
Oh.
No, we did not.
It just felt like the whole Eurovision part of it was just a bit too small. Like there wasn't enough of it.
Yeah, there was. Now I'm thinking about it. There was so much missing from this, but it was still a good movie. And we got a bit of ABBA at the start, and yeah. Anything else anyone wants to say about the movie? Otherwise, we're gonna wrap it up. Yes, because I've never seen or read Harry Potter, and I am from the UK. Not everyone in the UK has seen Harry Potter. Sarah O'Halloran, we can't wait to see your movie. I hope you're working on that script. Yeah. Anything else that anyone wants to say about the movie? Are we recommending it?
Yeah.
Go on.
So something I noticed with Will Ferrell is that he'll sometimes take a joke too far, and the whole I don't know if you can say spoiler alerts, but the whole we're probably not brother and sister. Like I feel like it was so overly played. Like we get it by now. Like you don't have to, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I feel like there were a couple of little things in there that it was just like he surpassed the stopping point, which would have been like it's supposed to be the rule of 3 in comedy, and Will Ferrell makes it like the rule of 6.
But we're recommending the movie, girls.
Yes,
I would.
Yeah.
I'm going to say if you were nervous about watching it because you're a Eurovision fan, don't be too nervous about watching it, because I think you will really enjoy it. And I think it's taught us Eurovision fans not to be so serious about it as well, because we can watch it and we can know that it's it's just a comedy, it's a bit of a joke, but it's quite nice. So it hasn't offended me in any way. I really enjoyed watching it. I would love to see a sequel. I want to see what they're doing in 5 years. So yeah, I would recommend it to you Eurovision fans.
Yeah, and it's a good way to show our family where we spend most of our May months.
Yeah.
Oh,
Although not at that Russian party.
Well, Jess and I went to the British Embassy.
You went to a UK
party, and that was kind of fancy in a way.
It was
very,
very posh, very kind of somewhere I've never been before, but it was fun.
Yeah.
I like that they gave, you know, the Eurovision bloggers a little nod with Wee Wee Blogs cameo in there. Because I remember beforehand, Andy, you had said you were wondering if they were going to mention any kind of Eurovision bloggers as well. So, you know, that little, at least the people know that we exist.
Some of the pre-parties, though, are also kind of fancy because London Cafe, the Cafe Paris, that's a very fancy place too.
With fancy prices too.
Yeah, the London party.
Yeah, the London party.
Yeah.
It's also kind of fancy.
Oh, it's just making me look forward to next year now. I can't wait.
I know. And it's funny that in a way, even if Eurovision didn't happen this year, we've had like a lot of Eurovision specials. Though it's not the same as our All Year contest, but they're trying to make up for it.
Yeah.
But it's not the same.
We can't wait for you guys, if you've not watched the movie yet, to watch it and comment on our Facebook or our Twitter or wherever. Let us know what you think. We will be talking about the movie hopefully a bit later in the week once more of you have watched it. I'm just seeing Rye Bailey saying it's got some good reviews on IMDb. So I think we've had mixed reviews, you were saying, Rafi. Some of the American reviews haven't been that great.
But it's expectable. Not everyone likes Eurovision, and we love it, and there's people that hate it. So a movie about Eurovision is going to have the same response.
Yeah, it's a movie about a lot of things that people don't know what it is. So it's not going to have, it's not going to have a great response. But I think people will grow to love it. But anyway, girls, let's wrap it up because we've been ages now. So everyone in the live, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Otherwise, follow us on our socials. Ladies, thank you so much. Have a lovely evening. We'll see you all soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.